Say that killing rhinos, lions, elephants, hippos, and other vulnerable and endangered animals will actually help protect the species. What? Howdy humans, Trace here for DNews. In 2011, GoDaddy CEO Bob Parsons was the target. Last year, it was newscaster Melissa Bachman, and this year, it's Texas cheerleader Kendall Jones. Hunters killing big game are attacked every year online, and with good reason. It's difficult to wrap our collective heads around the killing of endangered animals. Over 61,000 people as of Tuesday have signed a petition to remove Miss Jones' Facebook page, claiming it's encouraging animal abuse. But in the end, hunters and conservationists aren't really at odds. They're like frenemies. Modern conservation is an expensive business. Reserves must be maintained, policed, and the animals protected. Governments have to be lobbied to create discouragingly high penalties for poaching, and then enforce those poaching laws. We're not even talking about the millions of dollars spent on conservation educational campaigns. When pictures like this hit the internet, people freak out. But hunters claim by taking a few trophies, they're actually helping to keep conservation alive. Price tags for legal hunting range from $350,000 for a black rhino trophy permit auctioned to the highest bidder, it was the Dallas Hunting Club by the way, to as low as $10,000 to hunt a lion that was bred in captivity specifically for the hunters. As of 2007, 23 African nations allowed sport hunting, and over 18,000 tourists paid $200 million to those countries to hunt lions, leopards, elephants, warthogs, water buffalo, impala, rhinos, and so on. Conservationists are trying to balance the cost of operations with the protection of animals, and they aren't having a good time of it. According to National Geographic, there is 22% more area protected in those 23 African nations for hunting than there are for national parks. More money on the conservation side could change that. To try and raise money, conservationists turn to deep-pocketed hunters. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species allows South Africa and Namibia, for example, to sell 5 permits per year for the hunting of adult male black rhinos. They're not the only ones. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service say the sale of hunting licenses, tags, and stamps is the primary source of funding for most state wildlife conservation efforts. In 2005, the profit from duck permits alone was enough to purchase 5 million acres for use as a wildlife refuge. Scientists also cite a paper in the Journal of International Wildlife Law and Policy, which found South African white rhino populations increased from less than 100 in 1900 to more than 11,000 today, in small part due to legal hunting practices, which created a financial incentive for people to allow the animal onto their land. A black rhino, which could no longer breed, was dominating a reserve in South Africa. It was killing breeding-capable males and chasing away others, and it was hurting their conservation efforts. They found a hunter to buy one of those 5 black rhino permits, and thanks to his efforts, they made money to help the reserve while removing a conservation issue. However, financial incentives aren't always used for good. Wild lion populations are down 80% in the last 20 years, and both captive populations and exported lion carcasses have skyrocketed. According to a 2009 study in Conservation Biology, 92% of the decimation of the lion population in Tanzania was due to poorly managed sport hunting. That's a huge percentage. Hunting itself isn't bad. It's how many in the world eat, and they support their families that way. Back in my home state of Michigan, opening day of deer season was basically a state holiday, let's be honest. And though I never agreed with killing for fun and profit, the populations will get out of control if humans don't do something. While it's sometimes not comfortable to look at, and it's not always the best way to manage a wild animal population, hunting can be useful to conservationists when it's done right. How do you feel about hunting? Tell us why you feel that way in the comments below, and please subscribe for more DNews every day of the week. Thanks for watching.
So I do not support hunting for game and for sport because I think that's cruel, but I do support hunting if you are going to eat the meat afterwards and put it to good use, because that's the cycle of life. Hunting is that it keeps a certain population from growing above the level that it should be at, and then the cons is that it can be considered cruel if you just hang it up in your house.
Yes, I support hunting. Pros that I know of are it helps people relax and it's super fun. Cons that I know of are animals are getting killed and it's just not fun to see all that blood everywhere.
Yes, I support hunting because I think that it's fun. I think that it's a good way for people to express themselves, maybe let out some anger. I think that it's a sport. I think it's just like any other sport. My boyfriend hunts, so he takes me hunting, so it's a lot of fun for people to do as a sport. Their dad, it's a way for people to bond, connect. I love hunting. So there are both pros and cons for hunting. Some pros would definitely be that it keeps down our animal population, so the animals don't take over the world like Planet of the Apes or something. And it's also a fun way for people to express themselves, and it's like a sport. A lot of boys enjoy hunting. It's like a manly thing, so it's a way for them to do their manly thing to the side. And cons, I really don't think there are cons in my opinion. I think that hunting's okay. There's not really a problem with it unless they're killing something they're not supposed to be killing. But if they're following the rules and regulations of hunting, I really don't think there are cons.
Hunting, I don't look like it, but when I was growing up, I hunted all the time. I fished, I hunted, we did deer, we did duck, we did quail, whatever it was, we were always hunting. Any picture you saw me in with my dad, we had something dead. So yes, I support hunting. I think of hunting or so that people can eat. People have to have clothes, so you know, as women we like coats. Let's see what else. Give back to the environment. Some cons of hunting would be if people take advantage and kill animals on other people's land, like the poaching. That's something that I disagree with. Another con of hunting would be if people are killing animals viciously, or let me think about this one. That's a tough question, isn't it? I don't know. We just all need to. The pro of hunting is so that we can all eat and enjoy our the benefits of eating the wonderful quail and dove and duck and fish and bird. No, I said birds, didn't I?
That's a whole lot of what makes this country, America, the beautiful. We almost lost it all. But hunters stepped up in the darkest hour of the late 1800s to save what they love. Today, every one of those species not only survives, but thrives. And that's no accident. It's because of people like you. Every early culture, from the Horn of Africa to the Arctic Circle, relied on hunting for their survival. Through the whole history of mankind, hunters have forged a deep connection with the land and the wildlife it supports. We realize that stewardship is the key to sustaining that wildlife and our way of life. Rooted in this basic truth, leaders like Theodore Roosevelt and Aldo Leopold shaped a set of ideas that came to be known as the North American model of wildlife conservation. They declared that wildlife belonged to all of us and that every citizen is entitled to the opportunity to hunt and fish, and that ethical, regulated hunting is the driving force that maintains abundant wildlife. The fact is, the United States has the most successful wildlife management system in the world, and no one has done more to uphold that than hunters and anglers. Every time a hunter buys a license, 100% of the proceeds goes directly to benefit wildlife. And each time a hunter buys a box of ammo or a new firearm, 11% of that purchase does the same. Over the past 75 years, that has added up to $2 billion, and more importantly, to millions of acres of great habitat. And that's not all. Hunters have joined together to form nonprofit groups for the sole purpose of making sure America's abundant wildlife will be there for our great grandkids. Take the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. Since 1984, the foundation has conserved 6 million acres of prime elk country. Now that adds up to nearly 1 square mile per day for 27 years. Where there's a wild elk herd, you can bet there's an RMEF project nearby. Along the way, the foundation has opened 1,000 square miles of off-limits elk country to public hunting. It helped restore wild elk in 5 states, and since the RMEF was founded, North America's elk herd has doubled. For many of us, our passion for the outdoors grew through the experiences we had as kids in the woods hunting with our families and friends. We came to know that hunting is far more than how big or how many animals we kill. Hunting provides us with the world's healthiest and most delicious meat, but it also feeds our spirits. It honors our culture and gives us a powerful connection with wildlife. For those who oppose hunting, who have never properly experienced it, the strength of that bond is hard to understand. But to those of us who make up this hunting culture, it is a natural and vital part of our lives. The more we hunt, the more we care about the future of wild animals and wild places. And we salute all that the hunters of today, especially you, the members of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, are doing to ensure that legacy endures. As a member of the RMEF, you've gone above and beyond to support the most active, boots-on-the-ground conservation. Wildlife, wild places, hunting. They are inseparable, and they are at the heart of what makes America the greatest nation on earth. Thanks for all you do to keep our elk herds and our hunting heritage strong. We'll never stop charging towards securing the next 1 million acres of elk country, because hunting is conservation.